welcome to Adelaide. Very noisy down here today. We're at the steps of Parliament House in Adelaide on Kaurna land for School Strike for Climate.
Ceded. It will always be Kaurna land, always was, always will be. Thank you so much, and we should cheer that, remember that, never forget it. And I'm so glad, this is only the second official engagement I've had as Deputy Premier of this state, and it is so much pride that I'm able to join all of you who want to see climate action now. I understand that I am the first Deputy Premier in the state's history to choose to have the environment portfolio. And I've done that for a few reasons. My own personal history is, as well as the things that were said, I started as an environmental activist. I decided to go part-time at university in order to be with Greenpeace in the 80s, when these issues were just first starting to be really widely known. I went on to work with the Wilderness Society and the Conservation Council, and always at the heart of what I wanted to see were three things that I think now are more important than ever. Three voices that need to be heard that aren't heard often enough. The first is the voices of Aboriginal people. The people who first were on this land, who cared for this land, who understood how to live with and within this land. And we must find a way to build the relationships with the Aboriginal people, with the First Nations people, so that their voices and their understanding and their science are well understood in the way that we care for this planet together. The second voice that needs to be heard is that of nature. We are not talking enough about the importance of biodiversity, of nature. Not you guys, you're talking about it all the time. But we collectively, as a government, as a state, as a nation, need to listen to the earth. We need to recognise that the other species that we share this planet with not only matter, but that we can't live without them. And climate change causes them harm, but they are in strife anyway, independently, and we cannot solve this problem collectively if we are not listening to nature. And the third voice that needs to be listened to is your voice. It's every single member of the community, particularly the young people, because you have the longest term interest in dealing with this, but all people who care about the planet need to be heard and need to be respected. The idea of school students striking for climate is a good one. In fact, when I went to the very first school strike for climate, when I knew that various governments here and around the nation were complaining about kids should be in school, I saw more literacy on those signs than the scientific literacy of the Morrison government. I saw more respect for science than the Morrison government has ever shown. And what I want now is to say that in our government, the Malinowskis government, we will acknowledge truth. We will declare a climate emergency. Because that is just saying what's real. We know there's a climate emergency. And we do that together. We do that by listening to your voices, to Aboriginal voices, and to the voice of the planet. Together, we will find a path. It will be hard, but we can do it because of these young people. Thank you.
Putting things in place and taking action on climate. So thank you so much, Susan, for those words. I do want to ask you that you please come forward a little bit more. And I also want to say that please start chalking the pavement if you can while you listen, or do it once speeches are over, because we would love to fill up the pavement. However, you can't chalk on the steps, so please start doing that. And I'll leave you with Declan to introduce our next super exciting speaker.
Hi, so our next speaker is Nick Harriet, the Environment Officer for the Adelaide Uni's SRC, the elected student union. He co-chaired the COP26 Adelaide Day of Action. He has been a long-time campaigner against nuclear waste and for the environment, and is a PhD student in environmental history. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming out today. I'd also like to recognise that we're here on Aboriginal land, on stolen Kaurna land, and that's absolutely inseparable from the fight for climate justice. My name's Nick, I'm the Environment Officer at the Adelaide Uni SRC. I'm a socialist, I'm a researcher of environmental activism, and I'm a proud member of Uni Students for Climate Justice because I'm committed to fighting tooth and nail against the system that's destroying our planet. Thinking about this speech, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that frustrates me, the inaction of our leaders. And I couldn't really put this better than the incredible Greta Thunberg. When she dismissed 30 years of climate talks as nothing more than blah, blah, blah. Net zero by 2050. Blah, 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 blah. And today, we're faced with so much greenwashing, giving an environmental gloss to the same people responsible for wrecking the planet. And I think it's important that we're here today to call this out for what it is. Scott Morrison's promises of net zero have nothing to do with solving the climate crisis. It's a con by probably the greatest con artist in history.
Yeah.
2050 is almost 30 years away. But what have the last few weeks looked like in this country? It's looked like almost 25,000 homes devastated across the eastern coast. The climate crisis isn't 30 years away, it's right now. And the people responsible aren't the people underwater in Lisbon. They're the people, some of them behind me in this building, and in the corporate sky rises that dominate the city. And the worst part is that many of them don't actually want to transition away from fossil fuels. Net zero doesn't mean net zero, real zero. It doesn't mean no emissions. It's a license to keep polluting. And I think the fact that Scott Morrison, the person who got up in Parliament waving a lump of coal, is suddenly a convert to net zero, tells us something about what we need to know about that. It's the new climate denialism, because, as again, we've been taught green while continuing to burn the planet. And I've got to be honest with you, it's not like the Labor Party is a lot better than the Liberals. In Queensland, they've approved 18 new coal mines. Anthony Albanese is going to the election with a climate policy less ambitious than the Business Council of Australia. We support the Kurri gas-fired power plant and pour more money into coal. And here in South Australia, we've elected a Labor government that will expand renewables. That's good, but won't rule out developing a nuclear industry. I'm glad Stephen Marshall's gone, but I'll never forget my time as a high school student, as an activist, campaigning and organising protest after protest until we finally stopped the last Labor government trying to dump toxic nuclear waste on Aboriginal land. So it's worth asking, why are our leaders so unable and unwilling to tackle the climate crisis? I think it's because the system's run to put profit above all else. And just this week, you might have seen in the news that Santos uncovered Australia's second biggest oil reserve, locking in billions of dollars of fossil fuel extraction. The trillions that are out there in untapped coal, oil and gas are just too lucrative for those companies to pass up. So Fridays for Future and Greta Thunberg say that our climate catastrophe is caused, I quote, by centuries of exploitation and oppression, through colonialism, through extractivism and capitalism, an essentially flawed socio-economic model which urgently needs to be replaced. And I couldn't agree more. The solution's actually pretty simple. We need to end fossil fuels. We need to transition to renewables. And we need to champion land rights over mining rights. And you know what? I wouldn't show it to you if Gina Reinhardt or Clive Palmer never made a dollar's profit ever again. So we won't get there unless we keep building the power of our movement and keep putting pressure on the rich and powerful. How do we do that? Well, underground newspapers, walking out of class, trade union action, blockading mines and corporate offices, climate strikes and protests like we're all here today to support, disrupting business as usual. That's the kind of history that really I take inspiration from. Often it wasn't light, often it wasn't easy, and often it started out small. But it's that kind of action that stopped the Vietnam War, it smashed the Franklin Dam, it saved our rainforests, and stopped uranium mining. None of those reforms happened in corporate boardrooms. Change happened on the front lines, voting with our feet in the streets, on our campuses and in our workplaces. So to paraphrase one of my favourite American historians, what matters most is not who's sitting in Parliament, but who's sitting in, who's marching outside, who's pushing for real system change. And today, Greta and Fridays for Future are absolutely right. Taking action is about hope. It's about making sure that our ambitions don't drown in empty promises. Wherever we are, whoever is in government, students, let's keep up the fight, let's keep coming out until we win it. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for your amazing speech. Now we're going to move on, sorry, yes, very amazing speech. Now we're going to move on to Caleb, who's a Lipbox student and has been with School Strike for a year. They're going to talk about how it feels to be a young person in a climate catastrophe and the importance of voting for the general election.
And here I am again because not much has changed. I'm so sorry. I'm 17 years old and I've been attending climate strikes for 4 years now. And here I am again because not much has changed. And I'm feeling the same sense of urgency I did when I was 14. I'm sure there are many other young people feeling rage at the thought of growing up in this world fueled by indifference from our government, where the climate crisis continues to be the biggest threat to our livelihoods. I find it almost impossible to look into the future and see anything good when every time I try and stay informed, all I see is environmental decline. The latest UN climate report confirming that Australia is warming faster than other parts of the world. Australia's hottest temperature of 50.7 degrees Celsius reported this year. Floods as insanely devastating as those occurring in Queensland this year predicted to occur more frequently due to climate change. We have watched 55 wildlife species and 37 plant species go extinct, and 50% of our forests and bushlands permanently destroyed or replaced with invasive species since European invasion. I can't bear to watch anymore. We know all of this, and yet the Morrison government counts on gas to ensure economic stability after the COVID-19 crisis, putting fossil fuel companies front and centre of the Global Climate Summit in 2021. Scott Morrison invested $3 billion into fossil fuels in 2021 alone, and merely still set on a useless net zero target by 2050 that cannot be reached at the rate new fossil fuel projects are being pumped out. And next to all of this, the federal court ruled that our Environment Minister, Susan Ley, has no duty of care to protect us from the harm of climate change. This is not only a threat of the future, this is happening right now. We can see it in the changing landscapes, natural disasters, food insecurity, the rapid decline of mental health within young people. I hear you, I feel it too. But between all that despair, I remember to look up and I see all of you here today. I see people who are making history, being the change we need in this world, willing to feel the dread that comes with knowing the truth in order to change it. Australians have a massive privilege to not face the worst effects of climate change, and it is our duty to stop the actions of the Australian government from impacting the whole world and places that experience the consequences of our actions. I see more and more young people reaching voting age and voting for the climate because we've experienced firsthand how easily the government turn a blind eye. They know the facts, but they don't want to listen, and that is why our vote is so important right now. It is the only way to be heard. This is the time. It's more crucial than it has ever been. If you can vote, get informed, vote for our climate, find out which parties have the most effective climate policies, research them, ask for information. I know we hear those words all of the time and it's so easy to let them mean nothing, but we have information here today. Start those conversations. If you check out our Instagram, of the School Strike for Climate Instagram, we have information on that. If you can't vote, like me, start those valuable conversations with people around you that can. Our education system doesn't prepare us to make any informed decisions about voting, and sharing what you know and learning from others is how we make a change. We must continue to demand climate action after the state election and into the federal election. Make this election what it is, the most crucial federal election we have ever had. This is something we can change if we have hope, if we work together, and if we hold our government accountable.
Alright, so we're going to have some more chants. Charlotte and Alicia will be, hyping us all up.
Lots of very wise words there. I hope you could hear it. Some chants about to start, so that siren is part of our rally here. It's very noisy traffic on North Terrace outside South Australia's State Parliament building, which is, oh, you can see up there. It is a beautiful day, autumn day here in Adelaide on Kaurna country.
Okay, we're ready?
Here we go.
Okay. So this one is get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground. Woo! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now! When I say people, you say problem. People! 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 Woo!
Yes, thanks for letting us know you can hear us, and they're loud and clear here on North Terrace. Welcome to all of you who are viewing live stream from Adelaide.
Listen, sky my hero cry, when we're screwed we multiply! Listen, sky my hero cry, when we're screwed we multiply! Listen, sky my hero cry, when we're screwed we multiply!
And this is what democracy looks like.
Sky my hero cry, when we're screwed we multiply! When we're screwed we multiply! Listen, sky my hero cry! Listen, sky my hero cry! When we're screwed we multiply! When we're screwed we multiply! Listen, sky my hero cry! Listen, sky my hero cry! When we're screwed we multiply! When we're screwed we multiply! Listen, sky my hero cry! Listen, sky my hero cry! When we're screwed we multiply! When we're screwed we multiply! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it?
Great message. Funds, solutions, not pollutions.
We can't hear. You'll have to hold it that way.
The pavement below the steps is short, so that
Oh, we're not allowed to chalk on the steps of Parliament House. They get very, very, very cross with us if that happens, although it is chalk. Nothing permanent.
for those who are of age to sign up for school strike.
That's a very poignant image there. Having just had those horrendous floods in Queensland and New South Wales, and fires in 2019 that were beyond belief, 1920.
Alright, so we had some really inspiring words there. And it's super distressing to see that we have another election where a lot of us can't vote. And so what we're really asking for each of you in the audience who can vote for this election is that you do vote for the climate. You vote for a party who's going to take decisive action. You vote for a party who's going to take action as soon as we need it. And you vote for someone who is putting climate issues at the forefront of their work. And so to make that happen, there are a lot of campaigns. There's the Climate Action Now campaign, so you'll see these yellow signs around. So you can get one of them over at that table over there. If you're a young person and you want to join the movement, as Declan said, we've got QR codes all around the place. But there's also lots of different actions that you can be coming to in the lead up to this federal election, particularly if you can't vote. So Extinction Rebellion is actually holding a series of actions at MPs' offices. There'll be 4 actions across 4 Fridays. And those will be calling for more action on the climate crisis and also celebrating the action that's already happening. In the words of Jess Scully, who's the Deputy Lord Mayor of Sydney, we need positive reinforcement to our MPs and to our politicians. We need to be sending them emails when they do something right. We need to be telling them what we want in our power and from our leaders. We need to be telling them, yes, we do want climate policy, not no, we don't want it. And so if you can send an email to your MP today or a postcard, or you can show up to one of those actions and either celebrate good climate action or say no to bad climate action, then please do so.
Some very good points there.
I also want to talk about what School Strike for Climate Adelaide is going to be doing in the lead up to the election. This is a super exciting campaign and not something we've ever done before, but we are going to attempt to interview key candidates and MPs in swing seats, in margin seats. And we're going to interview them in a way that we haven't seen our leaders interviewed before. So we're going to talk to them and we're going to sit them down about what their climate policy looks like and what they're proposing they will do in terms of climate policy. And we're not going to let them not answer us. We're going to ask them, to actually directly answer our questions. So we don't want that politician beating around the bush that sometimes happens. We want to hear direct answers. And we also want to show the voters of Australia on a public platform what to vote for, who to vote for, who are the candidates who are doing good things, and who are the candidates who you might not have known were doing bad things in the first place. But I also want to stress to you that there are lots of places to look in the lead up to the federal election. There are climate scorecards on a lot of websites of climate activism sites, but also on websites such as like the Greens website, and you can also be connected to the School Strike for Climate groups, social media, things like that, and also this Climate Action Now campaign. So please come and talk to someone who's in a vest, whether that's an orange vest, which is Extinction Rebellion, or one of our yellow or pink vests from School Strike. Come talk to us about what you can do in the lead up to the federal election, how you can vote, and stick around. It's going to be a bit of a party. We'll have some music on. You can keep chalking. And yeah, if you need more information, please talk to someone in a vest. And thank you all for coming out today.
So, some great messages there. One very important one is all the school strikers, they're not even old enough to vote, and it is their future that is going to pot if climate action isn't taken immediately. More from Audrey. Little bit of fundraising blurb there as well. So yes, these kids can't vote, which is pretty criminal, that they're going to have to try and deal with the chaos and havoc that is coming everybody's way. They're also saying just take note of the upcoming federal election, vote for the climate, and right here, right now, we've got a table where people a letter to our new Environment Minister, who is also the Deputy Premier of South Australia. Ooh, blast of sunshine. We've got some more signs here, which is gorgeous. A safe planet for all the babies to come. Thank you. Now, I've lost who I was going to ask to have a chat with. Let's see. Oh, lots of loud music. Lots of excitement here. Let's have a chat. Dharma, you're always up for a word.
Yeah, what would you like me to say?
Well, just what this all means. Let's get you in the picture. What this all means for you, being here, what it's about. It's a bit noisy at the moment. Wait till the ambulance goes by.
I think I was just talking to someone I've never met before who's travelled up from Mount Compass, and we were talking about the importance of the individual being clear with themselves and can't do in the moment. And it's not just about the cause itself. One has to be respectful of one's own energies, and I think that's a constantly unfolding flow of a river, as it were. For me, I've actually, in this last week, I've gone right down with some of the media reports about the state of this planet, the IPCC and all of that. And then I had a friend in Extinction Rebellion say, just remember, you're not alone and we have each other. And I mean, I'm usually the one saying, listen, if I'm the last person going down on a sinking ship, I want to go down knowing I did what I could. And I mean that sincerely. Coming here, I want to really support young people, and I want to support our new state government. I think it's critical, and I want to celebrate that and rejoice in it. And just meet and greet people. I've met people here I haven't never spoken to before. And it's lovely what we're doing here. We've got cards that we're inviting people in the public to write a letter of congratulations to Susan Close, who's not only our new Deputy Premier in South Australia, she's the Minister for Environment, Minister for Water, I don't know the whole list, but it made my heart sing, seeing her standing on the steps of Parliament House and saying what she was, yeah.
Thank you, Dharma. Always full of wise words there. I'll just have a quick look to see if there's anybody else I can grab a talk to. Oh, I spot Rod Sims. All the greens lining up here.
Oh my god, I love it.
I wonder if I can be cheeky and get a chat with Mr. Sims, Senator Sims. They're all having their photo op at the moment. Aha. Yes, lots of... I'll see if I can grab some of them in a minute. Hi, I'm doing the Extinction Rebellion live stream, and I'm still on.
Should I take my mask off?
Yes, sure. So, what's it all mean for you?
Gosh, I mean, it means a lot. It means our livelihoods and our futures, and I think that that's what's really important about this election. A lot of us are really scared and distressed about what's going to happen because we don't have a say in it. And so this is what we're doing to combat that. We're telling you now what we need as young people, and hoping, fingers crossed, that you'll listen. But yeah, it really does mean the future of our lives, and it means whether we're going to have more natural disasters or not, and that's what climate action means for us.
How true, honestly, it's just depressing, but actually taking action makes you feel better, and I certainly feel like that. At my great age, I'm depressed by it all too, so just doing what we can. But it's really not good enough that we just have to cross our fingers and hope for the best. Let's just hope otherwise. So we keep going. Things are slowly looking a bit better, but let's see. Thank you for organising all this. It's fabulous. Yes.
Angeli, if I see her around.
Oh yes.
You know who that is.
Yes, no, I can't spot them at the moment.
Imogen here as well.
Somebody like a chat?
Yes.
This is the Extinction Rebellion live stream.
Sure.
So, what's this all mean for you? Why are you here?
Personally,
Personally.
I'm sick of seeing no action done, basically. I want to see people make a move. I want people to stop talking about it just as an incoming issue that's like 30, 40 years away. It's not. If we don't do it now, it will never happen. It'll be too late, irreversible. I want to see a future for myself and my peers. I don't want to let that slip through my fingers if I have a chance to speak up.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for organising all this.
Thank you for
It's
coming.
essential work.
Thank you.
Thank you. See who I can see. I'm just wondering if I want to see if I can. I'm going to try and collar Senator Rob Sims here. I'm sneaking up behind you. I'm live streaming for Extinction Rebellion at the moment. I'm wondering if you would say a few words about what this all means for you and the school strikers.
Yeah, oh well, fantastic to see so many people coming out tonight. And of course in the Greens we stand in solidarity with all of the strikers. It's terrific to see what they're doing. And this is a youth-powered movement. And so we're going to keep standing with them all the way in the new Parliament. Great to see the new Deputy Premier here tonight. But we'll be working very hard in the new Parliament in the upper house to make sure that Labor takes this seriously and deals with the climate crisis. It's so integral that they do so.
Thank you. That's why I voted for you.
Good on you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Senator Rob Sims of the Greens Party there in the upper house, and hopefully keeping the government to account, although there's pretty unbalanced upper house, but never mind. Anyway. So, last few words, and I'll start winding up. Yes. Upcoming Extinction Rebellion actions outside.
And they have 3 demands, which are to stop funding fossil fuels, ban fossil fuel donations, and 200% renewables by 2030. Listen, here in for the action times. So on the 1st of April, Extinction Rebellion will be in Boothby, Clarence Gardens specifically, for Fossil Fuels Day. So the 1st of April in Boothby. Extinction Rebellion will be in Hindmarsh, Port Adelaide, on Friday the 8th of April. And they will also be in Sturt, Norwood, on the 22nd of April. And then finally in Hilton on Friday the 29th of April. So put those dates in your calendars and please show up. We'd love to have you there and keep campaigning for climate action. Thank you so much.
Great, so that was just some info about the upcoming Extinction Rebellion actions that are going to be held outside MPs' offices on Fridays in April. First one, April the 1st, on Fossil Fuels Day. So look out for those. Your support will be more than welcome. That'd be greatly looked forward to. Okay, I think this has been going on for quite a while. Just managed to capture a few chats and signing off now from Parliament House, North Terrace, Adelaide. Thanks for watching.